whale washed ashore during this morning's high tide, and right now it is still right there on the beach in Silver Strand. 10 News reporter Diana Alvear is live with the sight that's really drawing a lot of looky-loos on the beach. Diana.
Well, Jason, you can't miss it, and you certainly can't miss the smell. Take a look behind me. That whale is now encircled by police tape. That's their way of trying to keep people away from it, but they're not having much success. Over to this side over here, we have a lot of the lifeguards here trying to come up with a plan to keep people away from it. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the circumstances about how we got here. The whale washed ashore sometime overnight, possibly brought in by the high tide. I spoke to the park superintendent, and he says it's definitely a juvenile whale, possibly a baby blue whale. It was first spotted offshore yesterday morning, and now that it's here, those lifeguards are warning parents to keep their kids away because it's been deemed a biohazard. Now, also a big story, high surf. We've got huge waves on camera that nearly took out a bulldozer building a sand berm on Mission Beach. The waves were so big they were crashing over the seawall, sending sand and seawater onto the boardwalk. It was much the same in La Jolla Shores, where the waves were lapping over into backyards.
Destroying an estuary. That is what scientists say is happening to the Indian River Lagoon in Brevard County, where thousands of dead fish are now washing ashore. As Katie Johnson learned today, scientists say the same thing could happen 70 miles to the south along our treasure coast.
Darlene Smith had no idea dead fish have been washing up at Kwinana Beach, where she took her 5 children swimming this afternoon.
Oh, that's really quite disturbing, actually, especially, we're just here for the day for having a bit of a break. So, yeah, not really happy about that at all.
Others are worried about health problems. Sharon McGrath's children and grandchildren have all had allergic reactions since swimming in the same spot.
My children have just complained about an itch, just like a red rash and scratching a lot.
But authorities insist there's nothing to worry about. The Department of Fisheries saying it's still safe to swim and eat fish from Coburn Sound.
A dead whale washed ashore at a popular surf spot in Southern California over the weekend, drawing large crowds who attempted to get a look at the hulking sea creature up close. Whales are currently migrating up the California coast, and sources say it is currently unknown how this particular whale died. The whale, which is reported to be a gray whale, washed ashore at Trestles Beach in the area of San Clemente on Sunday afternoon. State park officials believe the whale was young and not yet fully grown. They also believe it had been dead for some time.
3 dead sperm whales have washed up on England's east coast just a day after one died because of being beached on rocks. The huge mammals were found today near the town of Skegness in Lincolnshire, which is just 25 kilometers north of Hunstanton, where the other sperm whale died yesterday.
We did miss the end of school, but I figure that this is school in action. I brought them down to just pay respect to the whale and also to learn. It's very scientific. It's not every day that you have a whale that washes up onto your beach, and there's a lot that we can learn from these majestic creatures.
The second we had seen that it was down here, we woke up this morning, older brother came by and was like, let's go check it out. I was like, let's do it. Its size, really how big it is when you're standing next to it. Like I said, right now, the odors also is something amazing. You don't smell that quite often, but its size is amazing.
समंदर किनारे का ये नज़ारा बेहद ही हैरान करने वाला है। ये तस्वीरें तमिलनाडु के तूतीकोरिन जिले के तिरुचेंदूर तट की हैं। यहाँ के लोगों ने इससे पहले ऐसा नज़ारा नहीं देखा था। समंदर किनारे दम तोड़ चुकी कई विशालकाय व्हेल समंदर किनारे सांस के लिए छटपटाती। सबके मन में एक ही सवाल कौंधने लगा कि आखिर गहरे समंदर में रहने वाली व्हेल तट पर क्यों पहुंच गई, वो भी एक नहीं।
337 whales beached in what is thought to be the largest stranding ever. Mass extinction of marine life is now stretching from Alaska all the way down to the tip of South America. And just last week, further north, hundreds of marine animals washed up dead off the coast of Chile. This time it was blamed on El Nino. Nearly 250 sea lions and dolphins were found. And still further north, 10 dolphins were found stranded, on the coast of Baja, California
Well,
Sur.
near Kodiak, Alaska. It's an astounding photograph that's part of a disturbing trend. Since May, 30 large whales have been found dead in the western Gulf of Alaska. That's 3 times the normal yearly average.
They've been floating and/or they've been stranded for a temporary period of time in inaccessible areas, and a lot of those have been moderately to severely decomposed.
Dead whales are also a concern in BC waters.
You know, we've had quite a few whale deaths just recently.
Most recently, a dead humpback whale washed ashore north of Bella Bella. It was approximately 12 meters long and weighed an estimated 40 tons. More importantly, it was one of 5 whale carcasses discovered in only 6 days off BC's coast.
Chinese authorities are investigating thousands of dead fish in a river near the site of the recent chemical explosion in Tianjin. And while this disaster occurs away from home, US scientists have started an investigation of their own as to why dozens of large whales are washing up dead on the shores of Alaska. 30 large whales in total since May. And the National Oceanic and Atmosphere Administration has declared the string of large whale deaths around Alaska as an unusual mortality event.
Thousands of fish are found dead in a Sarasota lake this morning.
The discovery comes almost 2 years to the day another fish kill was reported in the same area. The dead fish were found in what's known as Mirror Lake. That's near Beneva and Clark Roads in Sarasota. We've received several calls from concerned residents about the incident. ABC 7's Josh Taylor is live there this morning with more on the story. Josh?
Yeah, Scott, let's get right to the pictures. You can look right over my shoulder here. You can see that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of dead fish in this lake and all the way around this neighborhood. It wraps around. Dave, if you can kind of look down here, you can see they just line the shoreline. We believe that they are tilapia. The name of this neighborhood is Clark Lakes, but a lot of the neighbors have been coming out trying to figure out exactly what's caused this. We don't have any type of explanation at this point.
This is horrible. Oh, it's such a bad smell. It's a really, really nasty smell.
Countless dead bunker continue to line the shores of Shark River.
It's kind of like living in a fish market.
Maybe a bad fish market.
So far, the Neptune Township Public Works crew has collected and disposed of 5.5 tons of the dead fish.
It's a monumental task. We're doing the best we can, but it's like removing water out of a pool with an eyedropper.
Which is why inmates from the Monmouth County Correctional Institution are helping a few towns clean up the dead fish through Sheriff Sean Golden's inmate labor program.
We have a few teams of inmates that go around the county and assist in cleaning parks, cleaning up beaches. They're used to the work. This is a great way for them to give back to the communities.
Officials suspect tens of thousands of bunker perished.
There's so many fish in the water, it's like looking at the stars in the sky at night.
Members of the Shark River Beach and Yacht Club are literally surrounded by floating dead bunker. The club is responsible for cleaning up the fish in their marina, and they wonder how they'll do it.
This is a little bit too much for a few members to pick up fish.
The biggest problem at this point is as soon as the beach is clean, the wind and tide wash thousands more fish onto the shore.
Thousands of dead fish rose up to surface in Bangaluru's Ulsur Lake in early hours of Monday and washed up on shore. According to Vaman Acharya, former chairman of Karnataka State Pollution Control Board, this happens every March. He said that the fish die in such manner if the dissolved oxygen level decreases in the lake. He said that it was the untreated sewage flowing into the lake which chokes the life out of the lake.
A discovery off the coast of Chile that has baffled authorities. Thousands of langoustines washed up in central Concepcion province. Beaches have been covered red as the Dublin Bay prawns were found. Investigators are trying to find out what has killed so many crustaceans in this case. It's too early to say whether it is natural death or an environmental crime, but police are not ruling out anything. Officers are due to go out into Coronel Bay to work out the sea temperature, electric conductivity, and most importantly, levels of oxygen. In recent years, a number of dead sea creatures have washed up on South America's Pacific coasts. Environmental experts say some possible explanations could be viruses, offshore oil exploration, and poisoned food sources.
And right now it is still right there on the beach in Silver Strand. 10 News reporter Diana Alvear is live with the site that's really drawing a lot of looky-loos on the beach. Diana.
Well, Jason, you can't miss it, and you certainly can't miss the smell. Take a look behind me. That
whale washed ashore during this morning's high tide.
Washed ashore sometime overnight, possibly brought in by the high tide. I spoke to the park superintendent, and he says it's definitely a juvenile whale, possibly a baby blue whale. It was first spotted offshore yesterday morning, and now that it's here, those lifeguards are warning parents to keep their kids away because it's been deemed a biohazard. Now, also a big story, high surf. We've got huge waves on camera that nearly took out a bulldozer building a sand berm. The whale is now encircled by police tape. That's their way of trying to keep people away from it, but they're not having much success. Over to this side over here, we have a lot of the lifeguards here trying to come up with a plan to keep people away from it. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the circumstances about how we got here. The whale